all local, all morning. The Fox 61 Morning News starts now.
Good morning. If you were waking up thinking there are changes in the forecast, there are not. We'll talk about the big heat, humidity, and what it means for storms later on today coming up.
And breaking news here, a shoreline home erupting into flames. What we're learning from fire crews this morning in New London.
And the search very much continuing for a missing teen and her newborn daughter. Police issuing a silver alert, the latest from Waterbury, just moments away.
6 o'clock. We are starting off here with a weather alert. Good Thursday morning. Thanks so much for being with us here at Fox 61 America Areas.
And I'm Keith McGilvery. Tim enjoying a little time off. This hot weather is not, as we take a live look outside the capital city and the Elm City. That sun is coming up over Hartford. You see that there as a heat advisory is very much in effect for our entire state.
Meteorologist Matt Scott back with us, telling us how long this hot weather is going to last.
I wish I could tell you it was over with me coming back. It's not. We will see some changes, a little bit of subtle changes in the humidity, but we got to get something through the area to get that going, and that's going to be an opportunity for some severe storms later on. The humidity breaks, but what about the heat? We'll talk about that coming up. There it is. Heat index between 100 and $105 later on this afternoon. This heat advisory going to likely be extended through the weekend. Temperatures now in the 6 o'clock hour, 76 in Hartford, 74 New Haven and Groton. Dew points, that's just not good. 68 to 73 across the board. Here's the guidance. Later on this afternoon, you got the heat, you got the humidity, you got a front coming in, and that'll spark a couple of showers and storms across the state. We'll keep an eye on those. In the meantime, we can tell you that there's a level 1 risk for severe storms later on the shoreline. Level 2, let's call it north and west of I-84. That means a slight risk, which again, you're now at a level 2, a little more enhanced of a risk than say the rest of the state. That said, we'll be covering the whole state between about 2 and 8 o'clock tonight for potential trouble. Here's the backyard forecast. More heat, more humidity translates to big temperatures getting into the mid 90s easily. Again, the heat index even higher than that, 88 degrees by 7 o'clock. That's not a break as we head into the evening hours, not at all. Talk about when the numbers are going to get break. They're in the 7-day. That's all coming up. Let's check in with Lauren Zenzi now, who's got a look at traffic, and I hope the AC is blowing on every car you see this morning.
I hope so. If you have a car that is without AC today, don't drive. Don't drive. It's just too hot outside to sit, especially if you're going to sit in some morning construction traffic. It's even hot out there right now. So let's take a look outside. We are still seeing those heavy delays, Wethersfield all the way into the capital city because of that construction cleanup. But things are looking a little bit better. So it has moved further northbound, closer into Hartford. We do still see those cones right there. So it is slowly moving into this area. So we will be seeing the heavy delays coming into the capital city very shortly. But overall, throughout the rest of the state, Bridgeport, New Haven, both looking good this morning. I-95 by exit 27 in Bridgeport, New Haven, I-91 by exit 2 right there. Do want to also mention at Bradley International Airport, Keith and Erica, I'm going to end on a good note right here. No cancellations or delays. We'll check back in coming up at 6:30. But for now, guys, back over to you.
Thank you, Lauren. 6:03, and we are following breaking news this morning out of New London. Authorities trying to figure out at this point what caused a house fire. This all happening on Sherman Street. You are seeing live pictures here on your screen. So let's break down what we know at this point. Crews responding around 10:30 last night. We have learned 3 people were at the home when firefighters got there. They are being treated right now. At this point, we do not know the extent of their injuries. You can see that chunk of roadway is certainly shut down at this hour. Julia LeBlanc headed that way. We expect her on scene in just a couple of minutes. As she gets there, gets situated, and picks up some new information, we will join her for a live report coming up at 6:30.
And also breaking this morning out of Waterbury. Waterbury police are looking for a missing teenager and her baby. Police are asking for the public's help here. They're searching for 15-year-old Domenica Barbeccio and her 8-month-old daughter, Valerie Barbeccio. Domenica was last seen leaving her home with Valerie on Tuesday night. Now, her family says this isn't the first time that this has happened, and they do believe Domenica may have taken the baby to stay with relatives near Queens, New York. But police are asking anyone with any information to please contact Waterbury Police.
Also in Waterbury, police saying they need help identifying someone who they say is considered a person of interest in connection with a homicide case from earlier this year. Let's get to some surveillance photos released by the police department on Facebook. Police had previously been looking to question another man in the case. It remains unclear if that person is still being sought at this point. That shooting taking the life of 56-year-old Mabel Martinez Antagori Georgie back in April. Her daughter says she was sitting in her home sewing when someone fired a gun into the house on Orange Street. Anyone with information urged to call police. All tips, want to point out, can be anonymous.
Oh, right now drivers are being reminded to keep their cars locked even if they're nearby. This after two teens are accused of stealing a purse from a vehicle while a woman was pumping gas. Wallingford police say shortly after that, the teens ended up crashing the car that they were in, which police say was stolen just a few miles away on South Main Street. And that's when police say the pair stole another car from a parking lot of a pizza shop. Fox 61 exclusive video here showing the moment the teens get into the black Toyota Corolla and then take off.
While they were pumping gas in that vehicle, one of the juveniles was outside of the vehicle, the other one was inside of the vehicle, and he took off, leaving the other one behind.
A 16-year-old has now been charged with larceny and burglary and was released to a parent. The second teen has not been arrested. Wallingford police say that they plan to patrol these main roads where these incidents are happening. Meantime, happening today, Connecticut's extreme hot weather protocol remains in effect. Now, that means those who need to find a cooling center or a shelter in the state, all you have to do is dial 211 to find the closest available facility to escape the brutal conditions. Now, the governor's office says that severe protocol remains in effect through at least Sunday night.
6:07, and with these high temps, Norwich Public Utilities issuing a summer first power alert here. They're urging Connecticut customers to be mindful of your energy use during the heat we are seeing really over the course of this week here. They're suggesting being smart about your air conditioner use along with minimizing the use of appliances that generate heat before the sun sets.
Well, it means that we want our customers to be a little more conscious about the electricity that they use and help us as we get through these challenging couple of days. We look at it as enlightened self-interest, so that if folks use energy more wisely, there are benefits that will come to them.
All right, I swapped out the oven for the air fryer about a year ago. Not looking back. The power alert in effect through Friday as we plow through this extended heat wave.
And a reminder here to stay hydrated, especially if you're exercising or have to work outside. We caught up with baseball players practicing at McKenna Field in East Hartford, where the weather was really not making it easy on them.
It's very hot, it's very humid. I'm already sweating like crazy, and we're not even like in the game yet. Whenever it's hot, I just feel like I don't want to do it, but we got to come out anyway and play, you know?
Oh, they are troopers. Now, when you're out in the heat, the CDC recommends drinking 8 ounces of water every 15 to 20 minutes. And drink water before you go out to prevent heat-related illness. You should also avoid energy drinks and avoid alcohol. Of course, that can dehydrate you. And make sure you download the Fox 61 News app. It's free. You can get it on your smartphone or mobile device. As we brace for this blast of summer heat and humidity, it's really helpful. You can track the latest temperatures where you live and see how hot it's going to get later in the day and in the week. Plus, you can get weather alerts and updates sent right to your device.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden in Connecticut, native U.S. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona stopping in the Elm City. It was a tour of the Albertus Magnus College's summer learning program. They spent time with students, parents, and teachers Wednesday afternoon. They talked funding for summer education programs like Horizons at Albertus Magnus. Jacqueline Taylor's son returning to the program for a second year. She says the COVID-19 pandemic impacted his life, including his education.
It's been tough. COVID has put a toll on a lot of people, a lot of children with learning, being in and out of school. It has been tough, but they're coming along.
I'm a teacher, so I was teaching on Zoom too. But, you know, a lot of us missed a lot of time, a lot of days. It was so hard to learn over Zoom, didn't you think?
It's hard to do a lot of things with Zoom, but
yeah.
we're pushing forward. 6:10 this morning, Connecticut did receive more than $1 billion in school emergency relief funding from the American Rescue Plan Act. $275 million of that went to academic recovery efforts to run programs like the one we saw at Horizons. An exciting day for those little kids.
Yeah, it's a second visit in less than a year
Yeah,
for the both of them.
make a second home here.
Why not? We love it.